Om Sadhashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyama Yasmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Dear devotees, we are discussing Dakshinamurti Stotra. Two verses we have completed. If you remember the earlier class, the Shankaracharya took the example of sprout, actually, seed and the plant, or the sprout and the sapling. So taking that example, how through the Maya or with the time and space causation, how this whole world has been created or manifested. So by explaining that, how the Ishvara has been manifested or has been appearing as this world, Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitya Chitri Krutam. If you remember, we had discussed all these things. Now, actually, we will be going to the Asi. So, the great Mahavakya called Tat Tvam Asi. So, there are three words: Tat, you; Tvam, that; Asi means are. So, you are that. So, the first sloka explains about the nature of the individual self. That is what? Tvam, you. And in the second verse, it explained the nature of the Supreme Self. That is what? Tat, that. Now, you are that. So there is an identity between oneself and the God or the Supreme Self, or Atman and the Brahman. The Atman and Brahman are one and the same, or they are identical. So that identicalness has been explained in the third verse. The moment when we say, a question may come for all of us, where do this existence and revelation come? And it enter into objects like a reflection in a mirror, Darpana Nagari, in the first verse we saw. So that has been discussed in the third verse. Now, though I will be chanting the third verse, I have to give a good amount of background for this. So if I give a good background, you will be able to understand the sloka better. So as a result, though I will be chanting the sloka, I will be giving the background. यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसि इति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात् करणाद् भवेत् न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. It is a beautiful verse. So by knowing this Advaita Gnana or the Vedanta, what are you going to get? Na punaravrittihi. You will not to come again. That means you will be free from this cycle of birth and death. So you are immortal, you are immortal, you are immortal, you will be immortal, no doubt. That again and again, your Sukshma Sharira, your subtle body taking the birth and death and experiencing all the ups and downs in the life will be halted. When the mirror is been broken, then the reflection is not seen. So similarly, in the deep sleep, there is no either happiness or unhappiness. Why? Because there is no experiencer. Experiencer means as a mind, I'm saying that. There is no mind, so there is no experience of all the dualities. So all these dualities been experienced by the mind, but unfortunately, we are thinking that I am experiencing it. I am happy, I am unhappy. When I say I am happy, when I say I am unhappy, both this I am refers to your body and mind, not the self. Self is neither happy nor unhappy. It is beyond both of them. It is blissful, ever blissful. So this wrong notion has to be removed. Wrong understanding has to be corrected. That's why this Vedanta study we are doing it, and you are trying to attend the class. Now, if I say or if you say the world exists, the universe exists, Bangalore city exists, Dublin city exists. When we make such statements, we say, or anyone asks, how do you say that Bangalore city exists? Or Dublin city exists, or my house exists. We say, come on, my dear, you see. You come and see the Dublin city. You come and see the Bangalore city, or you come and visit my house. You'll be able to understand why am I saying that Bangalore city exists, or Dublin city exists, or my house exists. Okay. Now, someone says, oh, you see, there's a beautiful flower in the sky. Akasha Kusmavata. There's a beautiful flower in the sky. People see, because he's saying XYZ is saying, we see and we understand that there is no flower in the sky. He's imagining. Either he is madcap or he's asking us to imagine. So there we are doing some sort of imagination actually, but it is not there. So we say that, oh my dear, there is no flower in the sky. For example, now WhatsApp stickers have come. Using the stickers, we can get two horns here. So yes, that picture is, we can use goggles, we can use mustaches, we can use different shapes and all. We can prepare a picture and all. But in reality, we know that I don't have, or human beings won't have any harms. That means here, whatever is perceivable or experienceable, it exists, we say. It exists. I mean, a clip exists, board exists, mobile exists, because we are perceiving it. Now, when we say the flower exists, we don't accept it because it is not perceptible or it is not the object of our experience. Hence, we say that existent object is experienced and non-existent object is not experienced. This is a common thing which you all know. Now, there is a book, there is a mobile, there is a laptop, there is a computer, then there is a table, there is a study table, there is a chair. All these things we know. There is a cow, there is a dog, there is a human being, there is an animal. All when we say different objects, but there's a one common thing, there is. That is what that. That is what existence. It is now I'm going to the subtle concept. One has to bear with me and one has to be a bit concentrative, and it is analytical and reflective thinking. Now, so many objects are there. Objects exist, or objects are existing, or object is existing when I say, because it exists, that exists. So many objects are existing, and among them, there is a one commonality called existence-ness in itself. How to understand? There's a beautiful work called Theaetetus. It is epistemological work. The epistemology means it's a work on the knowledge in itself. What is knowledge? So it is a conversation between Socrates and Theaetetus. Theaetetus was one of the mathematicians in the Greek civilization. So Socrates asked, what do you know? Or do you know? This was the question. People say, yes, we know. So when Socrates asks, what do you know? What do you know? He says, oh, I know this, I know science, I know physics, I know mathematics, algebra, or language, etc. Then he started saying, okay, you are saying that knowledge of something, knowledge of physics, knowledge of chemistry, knowledge of biology, knowledge of military science, knowledge of aeronautics, knowledge of arts and architecture. So knowledge of something, you know, I am asking the knowledge in itself. What is the knowledge in itself? So similarly, existence of something we are all aware. Existence of a city, existence of an object, existence of an animal, existence of the sky, existence of the planet. Now here is means the existence-ness in itself, or existence in itself, by which everything is existing. So we are speaking of that existence or existence-ness or pure existence. So when our experience says objects are existing means because of the existence-ness or the pure existence, all these objects are existing. Okay. From where did this pure existence comes from? Pure existence comes from where? Oh, existence, probably we don't know. Probably it should be in the object. Otherwise, it cannot be somewhere else. So if you think that, then the Vedanta says that no, the existenceness or the existence is it is the part and parcel of, or the God, or the self, or the Brahman. Brahman's nature is what? Existence, pure existence. That is what we call Sat or Sat. And from Sat only the Satya, truth, has come. Okay. Now, what is this Sat? We have to understand. Consciousness is a mystery for the scientist, and the existenceness or existence is a mystery for the philosophers, actually. Whatever consciousness today science is speaking, they are only speaking of reflective consciousness, Chidabhasa, not the exact consciousness, not the original consciousness. Okay. Now, before going into it, I will give some homework or intellectual homework to your minds, not in the home, now itself. So 4 or 5 properties I will be speaking, consciousness and existence, to understand. I can go directly to existenceness or existence. It may be a bit difficult. So I'll be taking from the consciousness, explaining, then I will draw the conclusion with the existenceness also. It is a pure reflective thinking, like pure geometry, pure mathematics, we say like that. Now, consciousness, we all know that. Consciousness, we know that, okay? Since you are all conscious, you are able to hear me. Physically, you are all there, I know that. But whether mentally you are there or not, I don't know. Only you have to tell that. If you are mentally here, you will be conscious about my talk, about my speech, and about this class. And that consciousness has come from where? Consciousness. Okay. And what about this nature of the consciousness? Oh, I mean, till recently they were saying that it exists in the brain. So it exists in the brain. It is the part of the brain. That's what the scientists were saying. Some saying that, oh, it is difficult to say. Or it is the functional aspect of the brain. Whether it exists there or not, we are not very sure. It is the functional aspect. Like that, so many discussions have come, so many theories have come. Now, Vedanta is very clear about it. First and foremost, it tells consciousness is not a product. It is a general statement. Consciousness is not a product. Again, product of what? Consciousness is not a product of the body. That's what the materialistic Charvakas say. Oh, consciousness is the product of the body. That's all. That's all. So we are saying that consciousness is not a product, first and foremost. A product of what, if you ask? It is not a product of any body. It is not a product of the force. It is not a product due to chemicals. Chemical reaction has happened. HNO3, for example, nitric acid and some other sulfuric acid you mix, and some other chemical or a compound or an element has been formed. No, it has not been. It is not the product of any chemical, and it is not the part of any reactions. So it is not the property of any matter or any one subtle things. Then what? Consciousness is not the product of the anything. It is existence in itself. It exists. It's a pure existence. For example, clip is there. When I say that is what? Existence. Table is there. Clip is there. Chair is there. Clock is there. So the all there means what? Existing. They're all existing. So there is a is called existenceness. Okay. So consciousness is not the product of the body, product of any chemicals or a force or reactions or even including the universe. Consciousness is not the product of the universe or whatever. Now, the similar thing we should take now, similar conclusion should be drawn. Existence is not a product of existence. Existence or a pure existence is not a product. Pure existence is not a product of the body. It is not a product of any matter or any chemicals or any reactions, or it is not even the product of the universe. For example, what did you take your break? I mean, it is getting dinner time. What you are going to have your dinner? Oh, Swamiji, I am having a dosa or masala dosa or idli. Say, how do you get masala dosa? Oh, because of the batter, dosa batter. How did you get it? Dosa batter is a product because urud dal, Bengal gram dal, urud dal, and the rice and some other things, poha or beaten rice. You mix it and soak it and then you crush it or grind it, then batter is been produced and it is also fermented. So it is a product there. Now, what about this hand? Is it independent? No, it is a part of this body. So hand cannot say, I exist independently. Though we use the word, what is the symbol, but the hand is a part of the body. So similarly, existence is not the part of the body, not the part, it is not being, what do you say, formed due to any product like a dosa batter, or it is not the product of the object. What about this body? This body is the part and parcel of the nature. From the nature, this has been formed. So similarly, existence, pure existence, is not the product of the world also. I hope you understand. So the first is existence, pure existence is not the part of anything or not the product. Okay. Second one, consciousness is an independent substance. Substance just we are using because of the limitation of the word. Consciousness is an independent substance which pervades and enlivens the entire body. Consciousness is there in my eyes? Yes. Is there in my head? Yes. Is there in my stomach and belly? Yes. My legs? Yes. Hands? Yes. Inside the body? Yes. Outside the body? Yes. When there is no body, still consciousness exists. So consciousness presents inside the body and outside the body also. And it is an independent substance. So for the dependence of consciousness, there is no need of body. Now I'm sitting and talking here. Since I'm sitting and talking here, I am sitting on a chair. Without this chair, I cannot sit here. So my sitting is depending on the chair. All of we are sitting and listening. So either you are sitting on a table, chair, or in a cot, or maybe on the floor. So your sitting is depending on something. Now my body is depending on many things. It is depending on atmosphere, oxygen, food, energy, and so many other things. But consciousness is an independent substance. It is an independent entity. It doesn't depend on anything for its existence. What about the body? No. Consciousness is not depend on the body for its existence. Similarly, existenceness is an independent entity or independent substance. It is not an adjective, but it is a noun. This is very important. Existence is an independent entity, somewhat you can understand, but it is not an adjective. It is not an adjective, it is a noun. What do I mean by that? Because of the illusion, moha, we are thinking the existence as an adjective. Why? Because we say, oh, bird exists or bird exists. So the existenceness or existence is depending on the bird. Sea exists, ocean exists, a city exists, word exists, table exists, objects exist, sky exists. So existenceness or existence depending on the object, and it is a part and parcel of the object or an adjective. That's what we think. It is wrong understanding. We have taken it for granted, unfortunately. No. Object depends on existence, but existence doesn't depend on object. So this is what the Vedanta is trying to tell. So existence, pure existence, is an independent entity and it doesn't depend on anything for its existence. It is the existence in itself. Okay. Whereas the objects depend on the existence for their survival, for their existence. Now, the third is consciousness is not limited by the boundaries. I am limited by boundary. When Shantivratananda is in this Malad Dublin 15, I cannot be in Dublin 2. I cannot be in Dublin 16. If I'm in Dublin, Ireland, I cannot be in London. I cannot be in America, nor I can be in India. So I am defined by this time and space. Space, isn't it? So similarly, consciousness is not limited by any boundaries. Boundaries can be termed as from this body boundary, body, and it is also with the space. Now, what about the Ireland? Yes, Ireland has a particular boundary. Similarly, India. India has got a boundary. If you cross that boundary, then you'll be crossing the international borders. Then if you don't have a proper visa or a proper, protocol, if you have not followed, then they may put you under bars because you are crossing the boundaries. So India is limited by its boundary. Every country is limited by its boundaries. Every city is limited by its boundaries. Every house is limited by its boundaries, isn't it? So similarly, is it consciousness is limited by boundaries? Because my consciousness is in my body, so consciousness is limited in this body boundary. If you think so, it is not so. No, because consciousness exists inside my body, outside the body also. I may not be aware of it, but it exists. Similarly, existence, pure existence, is also not limited by any boundaries, either of an object or of the world or of the cosmos or whatever. Oh, how can now existence cannot survive beyond the galaxy, beyond the universe, beyond the constellation, if you think it is not so. They're all depending on the existence, but existence doesn't depend on them. So this is what. For example, pot exists. Okay. Now Potter has created a pot, fresh pot, and he came and kept the pot in front of you. Pot exists. Yes, no doubt. So the existence of the pot depends on what? First and foremost, it depends on the clay, an object or something, and it depends on the shape also. It depends on the time also. No, pot has been destroyed. Someone came and broke the pot. So now pot has been broken, pot is destroyed. Now pot doesn't exist. So its existence depends on so many things. For example, mobile. Mobile fell from the top sixth floor or 10th floor and it broke. It broke into pieces. So mobile got destroyed. It depends on many things, so many things. So similarly, existence does not depend on anything for its existence, because it is an independent and it cannot be limited by any boundaries. I think there was internet connection. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
No, I'm not able to record because he's not there. Okay, just a minute.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ.
Uh-huh. Just I'm trying to do the YouTube live. I don't know, some problem is happening. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm not able to put any. So the consciousness is not limited by any boundaries. So similarly, existenceness is not limited by any boundaries. For example, pot exists. Now pot has been kept and pot has been destroyed now. Though part has been destroyed, but the space inside the part and the space outside the part is same. But when you kept the part as if one space has been divided into two spaces, we thought, we think, we take it for granted, but actually it is not so. Actually, there is only one space only. Okay. Now, but it is though existence is all pervading, consciousness is all pervading, but we don't understand because with our limited understanding, we think the existence or the consciousness is the product or it is an adjective. Like we all say, oh, body has got a self, body has got a consciousness. If you say Vedanta laughs at us, Vedanta says, oh, my dear, it is not that body has got a consciousness, consciousness has a body. So this is what Vedanta is asking us to tell. And now the fourth one, consciousness survives even after the death of a person or when the body is destroyed. Swami Shantivratananda dies. When Swami Shantivratananda dies, does consciousness survives after the death or not? Yes. This was the exactly question put by Nachiketa to the Yama. When a person dies, some say that nothing exists, and some say there something survives after the death. Oh, you are the Lord of death. After a death of a person, what happens to him? You are the best person to tell. Can you tell me? So he asked indirectly the Brahmagnana. What is Brahmagnana? So the self-knowledge he asked. So consciousness survives even after the death. Many times we think, oh Swamiji, when a person dies, where does he travel? Where does the Atma travel? Where does the conscious travel? People keep on asking. No, Atma never travels. Consciousness never travels. Then what happens at the time of death? Only the Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira, the subtle body and causal body, departs the physical body, gross body. So that means, do you say that the Atman is existing even in the death body? Yes. If I say Atman doesn't exist in the dead body, that means it is not, it is all pervasive. So Atman exists everywhere minus the place of dead body. You have to say. When you say Atman exists everywhere, that means it should exist even in the dead body. Then why we say person is dead? Then why person's body goes cold and it gets rotten and all so many things? Why? Because it is not that Atman is not there, that's why it is happening. Because of the Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira, because of the subtle body and causal body is not there. Medium or vehicle, that's where we declare, the person is dead. And so much so Vedanta probably people knew in olden days in India, even nowadays in villages you say, Pran chala gaya in Hindi. Uska pran chala gaya. Prana hoitu in Kannada we also say. Means what? His prana is what? His prana is the part of Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. So they didn't understand or to simplify it, they used only one word called prana. So prana went out means what? Sukshma Sharira, subtle body went out. So whether a person is living or dead, consciousness survives. Before his existence, before his birth, consciousness was there. During his birth, consciousness is there. While he's living, he or she is living, consciousness is there. After he or she dies, consciousness exists or survives after the death of a person, death of an animal, death of an organism. So similarly, existence, pure existence also exists even after the death of a person or the destruction of the object. Swami Shantivratananda is no more. So the existence of Shantivratananda has been denied, no doubt, but as a Atman, as a consciousness, he exists. So consciousness doesn't depend on the existence of the Swami Shantivratananda. Whether Swami Shantivratananda is there or not there, still consciousness exists. So similarly, still existence exists. That's what we are trying to understand. Okay. So even after the body dies, consciousness survives to exist. Only the medium is not there. Okay. And whether you perceive it or not, Whether you are aware of it or not, the fifth property I am going to tell now, that is consciousness or existence. Both, yeah, both exist. I am aware of the body, so body exists. That's what it happens to us. This is a great, what you say, quarrel between idealism and realism in the Western world. Idealists say, I perceive the world, so the world exists. Then the realists say, okay, you are sleeping, you are not perceiving the world, then is it not the world is existing? But it is not so. Yes, world exists. Then how can you say that since I perceive the world exists? Idealist then come with, oh, if I am not perceiving, then someone else is perceiving. Because if I sleep, everyone is not sleeping. When there's a daytime in the India, then there is a evening or a night time in America. And when there's a night time in America, Australia, there is a daytime, or afternoon or evening is India. So someone is perceiving, that's where the world exists. Then the realists come, okay, for discussion's sake, everyone sleeps. Every being is sleeping. Then does world exist or not? Then they come with the answer that God is perceiving the world, so the world exists. Anyhow, that's idealist and realist. So many times, even the Western philosophers, they say that Advaita philosophy is also an idealism, absolute idealism they speak. I say we are neither idealist nor realist, we are absolutist. Means we believe in absolute truth, existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. So we are absolutist. So we believe in absolutism. Okay. So consciousness or existence, pure existence, is not the part of the body or the world. It is not the product of the body or the world. And it survives even after the death. And it doesn't depend on the body or the world for its existence. And it is all pervasive. Inside the body, outside the body, inside the world, and outside the world. These are the five things we have to understand. So existence is being called or known in the one word called Sat. Satta or Sat. So Sat was there, Sat is there, Sat will be there. Existence was there, is there, will be there. It is not the part of any product. It is not the product of any object. It is not depending on something for its existence. So this is what we have to understand. Now, when you understand all these things, what are you going to learn? Oh, Swamiji, you made such a heavy talk on us, gave a heavy talk. Okay, we all understand. We shall try to understand. By understand, what happens? By understand what happens, your ignorance is removed. Because I think the existence is depending on object for its, it is depending on object. No, object is depending on existence. Existence is not depending on object. Just like consciousness as a body has a consciousness. No. So similarly, that means I am that Sat, I am that Chit, and I am that Ananda. That means I am not the part of the body. I am not the product of the body. I survive even after the death. I survived even before the birth. I survive even while living. So I am not depending on the body and mind. I am not depending on the world. Rather, they are depending on me. Swamiji, but whatever your Vedanta may say, my experience is completely different because I am depending on the world. I am depending on the world. If there is no sunlight tomorrow, what is going to happen? We cannot survive. Few days, okay, but I am depending on water, I am depending on electricity, I am depending on petrol and diesel, I am depending on the food, I am depending on the work, I am depending on the earnings, I am depending on the world. How can you say that I am not depending on anyone? So when you say, I am depending on all these things, when you give a list, this I is referring to body and mind. And the Vedanta is telling that I doesn't depend on any of them. Body, mind, world means that I is referring to the Atman or the Brahman or the consciousness or the conscious. So I am that conscious. But unfortunately, I am thinking that I am this body and mind and I am suffering. Again, when I am suffering, when I say only my body and mind is suffering, in reality, the consciousnesses are not suffering. So Advaita makes us to travel from what to so what. What? Did she say like this? How can she say like this? Did he tell this? And all we keep on getting carried over by small talks, petty quarrels, and etc. Real Vedantin will say, so what? Because I am unperturbed by all these things. I am untainted by all these things. I am beyond all these things. So when you study Vedanta, what happens? The world will not change, but your perception about the world will change. Means that Satyatva Buddhi, the notion of the reality loses. The moment the notion of reality loses, then what happens? You will be happy at all given times. Simple example is what dream. You had a dream, that a long dream was there. In the dream, you had a business, you had a success, and you had even jet flight, and you had a big mason, big castle-like house and all. You enjoyed with your family, friends, and you had challenges, you had difficulties, you had a loss. Finally, you became a beggar, and again you earned, you came up, there was a life-threatening situation. All this, so many feelings happened. Okay, sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are morose, sometimes you are stressed, sometimes you are tensed, sometimes you are feeling thinking to suicide and to end your life. All this experience you had, but the moment alarm rings, then your sleep breaks, your dream breaks, you get up and you understand, oh my dear, all this was a dream experience. The moment when you get up, then what happens? Whatever the experience till now, as if it was so real, so intense and so real, you were thinking and you yourself were experiencing, that loses all its importance. It was just an imagination. It was an appearance. Now, the same thing for a Brahmagnani. Now, the dream experience, all of us, we understand. But similarly, even the so-called waking state experience, when we say to till here, okay, Swamiji, now we cannot accept this because we are struggling, we are suffering, we are experiencing every nook and corner, every pinch of this life. How can you say this? It is an appearance, it is an illusion. Yes. When you are in the dream, if Swami Shantivratananda comes and gives a Vedanta class, oh my dear, all this is what mithya, so don't get carried over. You may say, maybe Swamiji, but for us this world is real act right now. But when the dream breaks, when you come out from the dream state, yourself you understand it is not reality. Now we are staying in the waking state and we are trying to negate the waking state and its experience. That is what is a difficulty. That is what our problem. So from the Turya Avastha, you will be able to experience, you'll be able to understand that even the so-called waking state, Jagrada Avastha, is also an appearance, an illusion. We gave an example like Mayavi in the earlier class. A magician, just he uses a probably scarf or a kerchief or a hat, or just in a hand, he will be doing something with a probably like a stick or something. He creates so many things. He creates food, he creates flower, he creates garlands, so many things he creates. So, like that, Ishvara is also creating this Maya Jagat, illusory world, and we are experiencing it. And when we say this, it is an illusion and etc., we don't say that it is non-existent. This is again one more. Asat and Mithya, there are two complete differences. Asat means it doesn't exist, like a horn of the hair. But when we say Jagat does not exist, means the way you are perceiving, it doesn't exist. I will give an example. Oh, you are enjoying the ice cream. Okay, summer is coming, summer is starting in India, so you are all feeling heat. Then you thought you will go to ice cream shop and you are enjoying the ice cream. Then accidentally, I also come there to enjoy the ice cream. Then we are enjoying the ice cream, and I say, oh my dear, how beautiful enjoying ice cream, isn't it? You say. I say, yes, no doubt. Enjoying ice cream, it is beautiful. Let us enjoy. But know it for certain, even this is not a reality. It is an illusion. Then you say, Swamiji, for God's sake, please stop the Vedanta now. Please allow me to enjoy the ice cream. I say, okay. All the better, all the best, go ahead. But I will be thinking about Vedanta. Never mind, you can't stop me. Then say, okay, Samji, how do you say that this is an illusion? Okay, now you ask this question. Thank you, I will answer. Now you say that, what are you doing? Oh, I'm eating ice cream. You are eating ice cream. Fine. So how is the ice cream? It is very delicious. Beautiful. And ice cream has got particular form, particular shape, or whatever, whichever in the cone it is there, either cone in the cup, it is taken at shop, or it is the scoop. If it has been taken, that the scoop shape will be there. Fine, that shape we know. Now, since we are putting on our tongue, we have got some particular taste. And we say that ice cream is real because I'm tasting it, I'm experiencing it, I'm enjoying it. How? Because of your mind and because of your sense organ. Say, Tuma, or otherwise I will say, when you say you are enjoying ice cream, what are you enjoying? Are you enjoying the sweet content in that? Are you enjoying in the, if it's a chocolate ice cream, I'm sure. So the cocoa is there in that. Are you enjoying that? Or some other cream they have been put there. So are you enjoying the cream? So when I sizzle out the ice cream has got, the ice cream product has got so many things. Chocolate from that cocoa is there, and the sweet because of sugar or some sweetener has been added. Then cream is an added, XYZ has been added. So when you are saying that you are enjoying what? Oh, Swami, I don't know. I'm enjoying ice cream. That's how we think. So are you enjoying the cocoa? Are you enjoying the cream? Or are you enjoying the sweetness there? Are you enjoying the cold in that? One, two, or all of this. Fine. Now, because of your sense organ called tongue has been developed, has been created in a particular fashion, and it is giving a particular experience. Now, for discussion's sake, the tongue, the nature of the tongue or the functionality of the tongue has been changed. For example, any animal is there like that. If it has been given for us, the experience of the ice cream will be completely different for us. But we have taken it for granted. So that's what we are saying. There's something exists, no doubt, but that something has been experienced as something else. Why? Because of this body-mind complex, we are experiencing the world in the particular fashion, in the particular manner. But we have taken it for granted that it is the truth. And a dietitian, I think I gave once more this example. He will tell that, oh, this ice cream has got lot of calories. To if I take a cup of ice cream, then so many, say 100 calories, 150 calories will be there. For that 1 hour of brisk walk, I have to do it. I don't have a time. Hence, I will not take ice cream. So he's got a body conscious, and is quite aware of his health and other things. He says that I will not take. So he's seeing the ice cream from the calories point of view. Now someone is paying for the ice cream. He is seeing the ice cream from the payment point of view. Enjoying ice cream, experiencing ice cream may be similar for every one of us, never mind. Some may like, some may not like, that's different. But when we say we are enjoying ice cream, experiencing ice cream, which is true, which is real, when we say, what do we mean we are experiencing ice cream? When we start questioning ourselves, it is difficult to say actually. So similar thing we can keep on understanding. But for discussion's sake and for day-to-day sake, we will take it for granted and we'll be doing it. But inside, in the heart of heart, we should be knowing that the Atman or the Brahman is appearing this body, mind, world, and my, I, you, etc. So this, if you know all these things, then you'll be able to understand the third verse, and we will try to understand in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. So I've given the background. So it has got 4 or 5 functionalities. Based on that, I've explained the existence. So if you remember this, then the next, next class you'll be able to understand the third verse easily. Yeah, any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yeah, so consciousness outside the body, please explain with an example. Now, when I say I exist, this I is referring to the body and mind, isn't it? Now, to experience something, I need to be here, or things need to be here. When consciousness exists in itself, then there is no need of it. even to experience the consciousness, you need a body and mind. Consciousness cannot be experienced by anything else. So you need a body and mind to experience the consciousness. But for the existence of consciousness, there is nothing need actually. So these things will be discussed in deep in the next class actually. So when one attains mukti, what happens to the Atma in such a case? Atman is always free. Then for whom we are struggling? You are struggling for the embodied soul actually, embodied self, that is for your Sukshma Sharira. Atman was free, Atman is free, Atman will be free. This bondage and freedom is only for the embodied self. It is only for your body and mind, or rather for your subtle body. Because of the wrong notion, I think that I am suffering. I am suffering is what? Again, body and mind is suffering, not the self actually. So self is always free only. It is ever free. Self is ever free. Only the body and mind is not free, and that body and mind has been removed or dissolved. The body means here I'm saying subtle body. When the subtle body is dissolved, the notion of individuality gets disintegrated. Then that's what we say moksha or mukti. So when we say mukti means Atman got mukti, no. Though we may use that sentence and utterances, Atman doesn't get mukti. Actually, Sukshma Sharira gets mukti actually. Yeah. How absolutism of Advaita Vedanta is different from pure idealism. Now, when you take pure idealism, they say, if I perceive, since I am perceiving the world, so world exists. So means the existence of the world is depending on my perception. I mean, in a very vague way or in a very generic way, I'm speaking of it. So the world exists, why? Because of my experience. And it is because of the mind. And also, now, the world is being experienced in this particular fashion because of the body and mind. We all say that, no doubt. But the reality is independent from your experience or not. Whether you experience the world or not, whether you experience the self or not, self exists. For us, the reality or for the truth is what? Absolute. Absolute means existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. So whether if I don't perceive the Atman, then does Atman doesn't exist? No, Atman exists. Whether you perceive it or not, it is free from the your perception. It doesn't depend on your perception. It doesn't depend on your understanding. If you understand rightly, then Atman will be in a right way. If you understand wrongly, Atman will be in a wrong way. No. So it is free from all these things. So in that way, we are absolutist, not the realist, ideal realist. And in realist also, there are other schools, naive realism, absolute realism and all. So we are, according to me, we are not realist. Neither we are realist nor idealist. We are absolutist.
Swamiji, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Swamiji, I am really unaware of anything. Okay, I have not learned anything. I have not studied anything. But I had some doubt. And that was clarified in my dream. How that we can explain? Who has cleared my doubt? I was totally unaware of what actually the answer may be. I have
Your
not
mind?
gone through any book. Huh?
Your mind?
How? Because I was not having any knowledge previously.
In this present life, you don't have. Probably in your previous life, you had. In your previous life, you had that knowledge that was covered, and you were thinking about it, and because of that, you got the idea. You got the experience, or your idea or your doubt got clarified. That is the one.
Maharaj.
And second thing, all the knowledge is there already. Now, Swami Vivekananda says knowledge is internal in nature. Knowledge is there in our mind already. When I say I know something, that means my ignorance about that particular thing has been removed actually. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. That's where we say Newton discovered the gravitational force. Means gravitational force was there already.
Yes.
Gravitational force was there already.
Yes,
but
not
it was discovered, only invented, isn't it? So similarly, all this knowledge is in our mind. Only when we struggle or when we try to study, when we try to listen and hear and all, then what happens? We say that, though we say that we get the knowledge, we are getting the knowledge, though we say that, but actually the amount, that particular concept or a subject, ignorance has been removed actually. Yeah.
Maharaj, Sat and Chit are same, means if they are
Yeah.
same, then how, and if then why we are giving two different names? And
Yeah. So this consciousness is given importance with respect to body, and existence is spoken with respect to creation and the world exactly. I mean, little technical it is. When example, body exists and body is conscious, and with respect to individual and the body, we speak more of chit part. I am aware, awareness or conscious, awareness and conscious and the knowledge we speak. And when it comes to the world and the objects, the existence and the Sat is being told. So Sat, Chit, Ananda, these are not the three qualities of the self. First point. The second is, they're not three different things. There is only one thing actually. So it is been used Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, why it is been used? This is one explanation I gave. Now, when I say the Atman, it doesn't have any shape, it doesn't have any form, it is not perceptible by your body and mind or sense organs. All these things, when I keep on explaining, then you may say, oh, that means it is as good as you are saying that it is non-existent. It doesn't exist. That means you can say it straight away. Why are you beating around the bush? Then we say, no, it is not non-existent, it is existent. So to negate the it is non-existent, we are using the word Sat. Okay, Atman, it is beyond body and mind and senses, it is the source of consciousness, it is the source of understanding, knowledge in itself. When we all say that, people may not understand. They may think, oh, it is a dull, it is inert. Then we say, no, it is with full of awareness, it is with full of conscious, or it is conscious itself. That is what Chit. Okay, it doesn't have happiness, it doesn't have unhappiness, and no dualities and etc. If you think so, that means it is neither happy nor unhappy, means it is boring, or it is somewhat neutral, like that you may say, no, it is with full of ananda, it is full of blissful. So to negate all these negative things, the Upanishads have described the Atman as Satchitananda. Now, the Satchit Ananda is not the nature, not the qualities or not the object. It is the just subject. Yeah, Pranam.
Yeah, Maharaj, see, as per Advaita Vedanta, then it's only a manifestation of Param Brahma into all beings, whatever we see, perceive. So, in such case, everything is same. Like there is no difference between you and me. I mean, we are all part of Param Brahma. So, uh, am I understanding correct? Because then there
You're
is
right.
no
Yes.
difference between anything. That's what I'm going to.
Yes, you are right. There is no essential difference between you and me and God and all. No doubt. That's what Advaita Vedanta says. That's why there is no two. There are no two. Means there is only one. Then, but you say, then we are experiencing, because I am not you and you are not me. We are experiencing, we are two people, isn't it? Because you are talking with me and I am hearing you. And when I am talking, you are hearing you are hearing me. Then how can we say that both are one and the same? There's only one, but means, yes, there are two bodies.
That is
Or
due to
two minds.
that is due to subtle body.
Yes, that's, because of two gross bodies and two subtle bodies actually. But the self is only one.
Sthula Sharira are different, but Atman is the same. You mean to say
Yes.
that?
Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Kana Sharira. All the three are different, but the Atman is same, yes. So these 4-5 points you should remember. Consciousness and existence is not a product, it is not a part, it survives after the death, and it is all pervasive, and it is it is independent. So these points, if you remember, then next week we'll be able to take the discussion of the sloka or the verse 3 directly, it will be easy for me. I hope this much at least you will be able to remember. Yeah, thank you.
Dhanyavad Swamiji.
So if you are a new person, I suggest you to go through Tattva Bodha lectures. So that's a Prakarana Grantha introductory manual. If you go through, then all these terms are explained there in a simple way. It is an introductory book, so it will be nice. And the lectures are also available on the YouTube. My lectures also. It will help you. It will help you to understand the Vedanta in better way, I wish to say.